This is Laura DeFranco, holistic physical therapist and owner of Brave Healer Productions. I'm excited to bring you my new holistic healing series where you're going to learn from the experts what it means to live fiercely alive, mind, body, and soul. I invite you now to take a breath, relax, and feel the vibe of the words my guest has to share with you today. Hey everybody, welcome. I am Laura DeFranco and I am happy you could join us for another bit of healing badassery today. The mission around here is to change the world one brave word at a time. And here to help me do that today is Michelle Lynette. She is a rising author, entrepreneur, and philanthropist in Houston, Texas, who enjoys the arts, inspiring others to connect to their goals, and being a strong supporter in the community through her Private Family Business EWC, Elders, Women, and Children. Michelle, thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us your story. How did you get to here doing what you're doing in the world today?
Well, I started writing when I was 18 years old, and unfortunately, I had gotten into a little trouble with my grandmother, and so she put me, on punishment. And from there, that's when I was able to discover my hidden talent for writing. And so I wrote my first poetry piece, which I do have in the book. From that time. And so from there, I just continued to write the theater, music, dancing. There was a seamstress, and so I got an opportunity to kind of be involved in, so take some things that I learned from her in my upbringing and apply it to my own life. Now, as far as my philanthropy work is concerned, so do is go to different women's shelters, and I would donate clothes. And from there, when I became a mom, I incorporated that into the lives of my children. And so we go all the time and just donate clothing. So roughly about 4.5 years ago, we're now going into our 5th year. I was at work actually, and I was trying to figure out what I could do in the holiday season to take something to the elders. And that's when it came to me to get little gift baskets and treats together and take it to them. And that just started from a simple thought with me thinking about them in the holiday season. And so now I'm going into my 5th year with doing this, and I have my children a part of it. And after the first year of doing it, it became a phenomenal success. And from there, I said, this will be our family tradition. This is what we will do to give back to the community. And so now I'm working to broaden it a little bit bigger because I really, really enjoy doing it. I have a sweet spot for elders and women and children because number one, I am a mother, I have children, and then 2, my grandparents raised me. So as you can see, I have a very sweet spot for them. And so I felt like it was important to show them that someone is still thinking about them, especially in the most lovable times of the year when families get together, and so many of them don't have families. And so I wanted to change the narrative with that and go there and do that. And so that's how I got to where I am.
So, Michelle, we're having a little trouble with our connection. And when I asked you that first question, there was a first piece of it that you were kind of warbled when you were answering the question. So I'm going to back up just so that everyone can hear the answer to that piece. You came through when you started talking about the EWC, but you said something about that you got in trouble with your grandma, but then that part got cut out. Can you repeat what you were saying there?
Oh, sure. So I was saying I started writing at the age of 18. I got in trouble with my grandmother and she punished me. And from that punishment, I had to be alone with myself. I couldn't engage with the family or anything. And so I started having these thoughts come to mind. And that's when I discovered my hidden talent to write. And so my first poetry piece is actually in my book. From that time, and so that's how the writing got started from me.
Okay, good. I'm glad I asked you that again because that piece didn't come through. I'm like, wait, what happened to her with her grandma? Like, darn this internet sometimes, you know. So sorry, viewers.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. Gotta love technology, right?
I know. We're blessed to be able to do this in the first place, right? It's amazing. Okay, so talk to us about this beautiful book of yours.
Okay, so Poetic Soul, Unspoken Roots, it is the anniversary edition of my book. I wrote the book 12 years ago. And so it's a wide range of pieces that speaks from politics, things that we are currently going through in the world today, to love, pain, and forgiveness. It's just a wide range of things that can be relatable to anybody. And so what I've done, I've added a few more additional pieces that I've written a few years ago, and I've added some images in the book as well to give the people a little background of what I've done since the last time that I've published it, and to kind of like take them back to my past and bring them to my present. And so it's a beautiful book. I took my time with it to make sure that it would be the people.
We got you stuck again. You took your time with it to make sure.
I took my time with it to make sure that, it was perfect and that the people will enjoy it.
Awesome. All right. Boy, we're going to struggle through this one with our internet, aren't we? Okay, internet gods and goddesses. She's going to read a poem for us now, and I need you to keep us connected.
Correct.
Okay. Would you please share one from the book? I can't wait to hear.
Okay, this is my book, so everyone can see it. And the piece that I'm going to read, it's from, I have the book broken down into sections. And so I'm going to read from the love section of the book, and it's called Sensational You. And it was inspired by a gentleman that was very dear to me at that time. And so that's where the inspiration came for this piece. And here we go. There are so many different things that I simply adore about you. From the sensational touch you give that makes me yearn to love you. I can't help but to smile when I think of your exotic style. The way that you embrace me with your charm makes me so secure when I'm wrapped tight in your masculine arms. Your complexion is like a caramel sundae that I can't wait to taste. The thought that I get from this has me titillating in the waist. Your persona is so different, yet unique. You're as sensational as a butterfly that flies to the wind's beat. I want to mix my sensuality with yours underneath a canopy. You're more than just a man. You're everything that I need. Come, take me by my hand and love me unconditionally. To the melodies of hummingbirds, sounds of waterfalls, hum the bass of your voice against my ear walls, and I will open up my saxophone so you can play my notes to the stars above. You will become me, and I will become you, and we will join together for the sensational you.
I hope they were listening past 5 o'clock. I don't know. I am a lover of love poems, Michelle.
Oh, well, that makes two of us.
Yes, that's
you can kind of call me a
beautiful.
hopeless romantic.
I hear you. I hear you. So where can everybody grab a copy of your book?
The book is available for purchase directly on my website, which is www.themichellenlynette.com. And I am currently running a 30% off fall sale until November the 7th. And I have merchandise there as well. You can grab a t-shirt or a nice baseball cap and look good while you're reading.
Awesome. Okay, one more time. That's themichellenlynette.com.
No, it's the.
Oh, V.
The T-H-E.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, the
I
Michelle
got
Lynette.
it. The
Yeah.
Michelle. Okay, no B, just the. All right. All right,
Yeah,
you guys.
no B, just the.
Don't worry. I'm going to hook you guys up in those show notes down below. Okay, so you can pop over, look at the book, grab a copy. I can't wait to get myself a copy and read the rest of your beautiful poems. You're going to share another one in a minute, but talk to me a little bit about how it's been becoming a rising businesswoman. Man, I love this particular conversation. So how's it been for you?
It has definitely been a lot of work. A lot of people, they are extreme sometimes when they say, oh, I want to be my own boss. I want to be an entrepreneur because I'm allowed the flexibility to do whatever I want to do. Sure you are. However, what you don't know is when you're starting off, there's a lot of laboring work. And what I've learned is that you do more for yourself when you're building from the ground up than you do on your regular 9 to 5. And the beauty of coming into this space is that I come from a home of entrepreneurs. So my grandfather was an entrepreneur, and he had his own business where he laid tile in commercial and residential homes. And my grandmother was his secretary. So from 8 to 5, she handled his business. And when he came home, I saw them interact. So naturally, I picked that skill up, right? And so I also worked with a lot of executives because I do come from the corporate world, and I've learned a lot of things there. So I've basically taken all that I've learned in corporate America, along with seeing my grandparents, and just incorporated it into my own business style. And I love what I do, and it is a lot of work, but I really wouldn't trade it much, because the thing that I love most about what I'm doing is leaving some type of legacy behind to my children. There are times when I do lose sleep, because I'm building my schedule around my daughter's schedule, who's currently in school online right now. So I have to be the overseer of her education at times, and then I have to get to my work. But it's been a job for the most part, but I enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I have. Wow, so many of us right now are going through that same exact thing with the kids home online at school, and we're trying to run our businesses, and typically we would have that uninterrupted time block where the kids were out of the house, and we didn't talk to work about it. Yeah, but
it's much easier to navigate when they're not here.
It's what we take for granted, right? We don't even realize this year. Well, so what are some of the other things that you wanted to share with other women on that same path?
Well, I'd like to tell other women who are considering stepping into the lifestyle of being an entrepreneur that it's not going to happen instantly overnight. There are steps that you have to take to build your level of success. You do have to be patient with the time of you reaching the financial platform that you want to accomplish. That takes time. You have to understand that people are getting to know you. And so be patient with that. It's going to come. Just do your work. And that's why it takes um, 5 years or longer for you to accomplish that. Sometimes people, get the beauty of that revenue early, and sometimes it comes later. But don't give up on yourself. Just keep going. Understand that your works are not in vain, and just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Don't have people around who do not support your vision, because that will easily distract you and cause you to start second guessing yourself. And then before you know it, you've forgotten about what you've been fortunate to discover about yourself. And then later you will have that level of regret hanging over your head.
Let's talk about that for a minute, that community that you create around you. Gosh, I think that's so important. Have you come up against moments where you've had to decide to not have certain people in your circle?
I have. I have.
So what advice
And
would you give? It's hard.
well, I would suggest again, don't feel bad about having to readjust the people around you, or even readjust yourself. That's part of your development stage. That's part of you being able to grow as a person, and as a person who has a purpose in life. Everybody's not going to understand your vision. Everybody's not going to receive it the way that you receive it. And that's to be expected, because number one, it's not their vision. And then two, they're not going to see it the way that you see it. And once you believe in yourself first, and put that first, they're either going to come along for the ride and enjoy it with you, or they are going to fall off. Everybody is not destined to follow you in your purpose, and that's okay. That's totally okay.
That is a really good thing to remember.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
They'll either catch on or they'll fall off, but one way or another, you gotta walk through your purpose, and you have to be able to be okay with letting people fall behind. And it's fine. You didn't do anything wrong. You're just following the order that God put before you.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're talking about that. I think sometimes we just need the reminder. It makes us feel when that is happening that we're doing something wrong, when really actually it means that we're doing something right. Because when you stand up tall inside of your mission and your worthiness, then that does sometimes repel people, and sometimes it attracts people. So we can't worry about the people we repel, right? We're just attracting who we need to be taking it all to the next level. So what else do you want to tell us about your philanthropy work? Oh, I think we're in our little freeze zone again. Did you hear that last question?
Okay, yeah, you froze. What I heard you asked. Okay, I didn't hear your last question to me. I'm sorry. I didn't
Sorry.
hear your last question.
No problem. Yeah, we're having some internet stuff today going on. Bear with us, you guys. Just tell, what else do you want us to know about the philanthropy work? I'm so, I don't know, it kind of warms my heart to hear you talking about elders and that respect. But tell us, what else do you want us to know about that?
Well, I am planning to do a donation that will be live on my website, more than likely by the weekend. And I'm just putting that up there for people to donate whatever is on their heart to donate. It's anywhere between $1 and up. And your donations go towards the purchases of the gifts that are selected for them, and the gifts as well. And I really, really enjoy it. I enjoy it so much. It's already scheduled to happen December the 10th. It's a
Great.
phenomenal group of people. And I just want people to know that when you give back to the community that contributed to you being present on earth, it's a beautiful feeling, because at the end of the day, our roots as people starts from our elders. And so it's important to pay homage to them in the most simplest way. It doesn't take much. They love when people think about them, and especially staying in a retirement home. You know, some of them may feel forgotten about because their families are really not paying them any attention, and some of them are not forgotten about. But overall, I just want them to know, family or not, somebody is thinking about you. And so I am working diligently hard to get the government backing so that I can touch every retirement home in Houston, because that's my goal, is to get to every retirement home in Houston and look out for the elders, and of course look out for the women and children who are unfortunately displaced in women's shelters due to either financial hardship or a very dysfunctional environment that forced them to be there. And so I am working on both, but my strongest commitment is definitely to the elders, because like I said, I was raised by my grandparents, and that's just a very sweet spot for me.
I love listening to what you were saying about your family being entrepreneurs as well. I've got a similar story, and I love thinking about how that all started with my grandma and grandpa being, business owners, and just how
Oh
that
yeah.
came. Yeah, it's good energy, and it's interesting and how that's changed, of course. But
Mm-hmm.
wow, they definitely trailblazed that.
They did. And I have to say it was a good example for me.
Yeah.
It was definitely a good example for me. And I remember my aunt telling me when I was 18 that I needed to work for myself. And I didn't catch it at the time, but as life continued for me, it made sense why she said it. It made sense
Definitely
why she
smart woman.
said it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you have one more poem to share with us,
Okay.
and I can't wait to hear it. And I'm going to make the one more prayer to the internet gods today. Please give her the space for this whole poem. All right.
Okay, this poem is entitled God Is. It's a few years old, and the poem came during the time that we entered the recession, um, back when Bush was in office, and people were just really going through a hard time. So I wrote that as a way to encourage people to understand that even though we are going through some difficult times, there's still a higher power that serves us, that can get us through anything. And so I just wanted to remind the people that we have somebody that we can go to when there's nobody else around, that we can go to in a higher power spiritually. And
Beautiful.
so
Thank you.
I'm going to get started. Okay. We are currently descending in a world where hope is no longer first, having to lean on a judicial system that puts the power of the mighty dollar first. Our families are struggling to maintain their households. It is no longer a color issue, it has now become a universal truth. We're being affected in many ways that has tested our faith, and who to trust better when the load that we carry is officially a heavyweight. There is no trust in your superior, because they are just doing their job. So if you miss a few steps, you'll be getting tagged to be dismissed by the corporate mob. Men and women having to go home and look their children or each other in the face, wondering if the same place that they call home will be there from day to day. Our economic system has failed its crash dummies test simply because it is being controlled by W, which has caused us to become victims in this scandalous mess. Well, I'm here to confirm that God is hope in the time of trouble, and there is no one else to turn to, especially when the people have no valid purpose, yet they still look down at you. God is merciful as the world continues to change. Looking at CNN News broadcasting another lost soul gone deranged. God is peace to a crying mother praying for her child to overcome an addiction controlled by the influences of the wild. God is love to a soul that has no understanding to this definition, due to his earthly parents selfishly not realizing the purpose of their position. God is honesty when humans lie to you. His word never said that all would do right by you. Does it appear as though I'm speaking to your soul? Well, keep listening to the story unfold. God is understanding to the human mind, poisoned by the non-reality of this lifetime. I'm looking at you and you're looking at me. We're both wandering on God's earth where we're supposed to be, pacing back and forth to make sure a critical decision is made right. Otherwise, if it becomes wrong, you could be laying your head on that concrete tonight. God is a father to the fatherless, apart from the good man. Sister, shame on you, male, chose not to take a stand. Be strong in your faith, even when the doors have closed. You are looking at the diary of this soul be told, from the possibilities to the sun dimming down at me. You and I are a part of this life's history. Now that I've delivered the message and I'm bringing it to the end, be hopeful in knowing that God is amazing, dear friend. But if you're still uncertain about life's pop quiz, then study no more. I've given you a briefing of who God is.
I'll give you some
Thank
snacks
you.
for that. That's a powerful
Thank
poem.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Michelle, thank you so much for what you're doing in the world and really for being here today to share it with everybody.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you for bringing me on your platform. I had an amazing time, and I hope that something that I've said can inspire someone one way or another.
Oh my gosh, no doubt. You guys, themichellenlynette.com. I get it right this time, and it's going to be down in the show notes for you, and you'll find her book and find out about everything she's doing. So go explore, you guys. Thanks again, Michelle, and thank you guys for being here and watching and just soaking up the good vibes. And you know, it really takes the village of people to be interested and be aware and be exploring all of the things that we can to give us the hope that we need right now. These are weird times, you know? So lastly, I want everyone to remember your words will change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it's time to be brave, everybody. See you next time.
Thank you.
Love what you heard today. Don't forget to drop down and hit that subscribe button, you guys, and then join me over at bravehealer.com for just a little bit more healing badassery. Have a great one.